Section 17 of English Synonyms and Antonyms. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Mario Pineda. English Synonyms and Antonyms by James Champlin Fernald. Character to clear. Character. Synonyms: constitution, disposition, genius, nature, personality, record, reputation, spirit, temper, temperament. Character is what one is, reputation what he is thought to be. His record is the total of his known action or inaction. As a rule, a man's record will substantially express his character. His reputation might be higher or lower than his character or record will justify. Repute is a somewhat formal word with the same general sense as reputation. One's nature includes all his original endowments or propensities. Character includes both natural and acquired traits. We speak of one's physical constitution as strong or weak, etc., and figuratively always with the adjective of his mental or moral constitution. Compare characteristic. Prepositions. The witness has a character for veracity. His character is above suspicion. The character of the applicant. Characteristic. Synonyms: attribute, character, distinction, feature, indication, mark, peculiarity, property, quality, sign, singularity, trace, trait. A characteristic belongs to the nature or character of the person, thing, or class and serves to identify an object, as a copper-colored skin, high cheekbones, and straight black hair are characteristics of the American Indian. A sign is manifest to an observer. A mark or a characteristic may be more difficult to discover. An insensible person may show signs of life, while sometimes only close examination will disclose marks of violence. Pallor is ordinarily a mark of fear, but in some brave natures it is simply a characteristic of intense earnestness. Mark is sometimes used in a good, but often in a bad sense. We speak of the characteristic of a gentleman, the mark of a villain. Compare attribute. Character. Charming. Synonyms: bewitching, captivating, delightful, enchanting, enrapturing, entrancing, fascinating, winning. That is charming or bewitching which is adapted to win others as by a magic spell. Enchanting, enrapturing, entrancing represents the influence as to not only supernatural, but irresistible and delightful. That which is fascinating may win without delighting, drawing by some unseen power as a serpent its prey. We can speak of horrible fascination. Charming applies only to what is external to oneself. Delightful may apply to personal experiences or emotions as well. We speak of a charming manner, a charming dress, but of delightful anticipations. Compare amiable, beautiful. Chasten. Synonyms: afflict, castigate, chastise, correct, discipline, humble, punish, purify, refine, soften, subdue, try. Castigate and chastise refer strictly to corporal punishment, though both are somewhat archaic. Correct and punish are often used as euphemisms in preference to either. Punish is distinctly retributive in sense. Chastise, partly retributive and partly corrective. Chasten, wholly corrective. Chasten is used exclusively in the spiritual sense and chiefly of the visitation of God. Prepositions: we are chastened of the Lord. 1 Corinthians 11:32. They chastened us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit. Hebrews 12:10. Chasten in thy hot displeasure. Psalms 4:7. Chastened with pain, by trials and sorrows. Cherish. Synonyms: cheer, cling to, comfort, encourage, entertain, foster, harbor, hold dear, nourish, nurse, nurture, protect, shelter, treasure, value. To cherish is both to hold dear and to treat as dear. Mere unexpressed esteem will not be cherishing. In the marriage vow, to love, honor, and cherish, the word cherish implies all that each can do by love and tenderness for the welfare and happiness of the other, as by support, protection, care in sickness, comfort in sorrow, sympathy, and help of every kind. To nurse is to tend the helpless or feeble, as infants, or the sick or wounded. To nourish is strictly to sustain and build up by food. To nurture includes careful mental and spiritual training, with something of love and tenderness. To foster is simply to maintain and care for, to bring up. A foster child will be nourished, but may not be as tenderly nurtured or as lovingly cherished as if one's own. In the figurative sense, the opinion one cherishes he holds, not with mere cold conviction, but with loving devotion. Antonyms. See synonyms for abandon, chasten. Choose. Synonyms: call, elect, pick, pick out, prefer, select. Prefer indicates a state of desire and approval. Choose an act or will. Prudence or generosity may lead one to choose what he does not prefer. Select implies a careful consideration of the reasons for preference and choice. Among objects so nearly alike that we have no reason to prefer any one to another, we may simply choose the nearest, but we could not be said to select it. Aside from theology, elect is popularly confined to the political sense, as a free people elect their own rules. Call, from the Latin colligere, commonly means to collect as well as to select. In a garden, we cull the choicest flowers. Antonyms: cast away, cast out, decline, disclaim, dismiss, leave, refuse, reject, repudiate, throw aside. Prepositions: choose from or from among the number. Choose out of the army. Choose between or betwixt two. Among many. Choose for the purpose. Circumlocution. Synonyms: diffuseness, periphrasis, pleonasm, prolixity, redundancy, surplusage, tautology, tediousness, verbiage, verbosity, wordiness. Circumlocution and periphrasis are roundabout ways of expressing thought. Circumlocution is the more common, periphrasis the more technical word. Constant circumlocution produces an affected and heavy style. Occasionally, skillful periphrasis conduces both to beauty and to simplicity. Etymologically, diffuseness is a scattering both of words and thought. Redundancy is an overflow. Prolixity goes into endless petty details, without selection or perspective. Pleonasm is the expression of an idea already plainly implied. Tautology is the restatement in other words of an idea already stated, or a useless repetition of a word or words. Pleonasm may add emphasis. Tautology is always a fault. I saw it with my eyes is a pleonasm. All the members agreed unanimously is tautology. Verbiage is the use of mere words without thought. Verbosity and wordiness denote an excess of words in proportion to the thought. Tediousness is the sure result of any of these faults of style. Antonyms: brevity, compactness, compression, conciseness, condensation, directness, plainness, shortness, succinctness, terseness. Circumstance. Synonyms: accompaniment, concomitant, detail, event, fact, feature, incident, item, occurrence, particular, point, position, situation. A circumstance, Latin circum, around, and sto, stand, is something existing or occurring in connection with or relation to some other fact or event, modifying or throwing light upon the principal matter without affecting its essential character. An accompaniment is something that unites with the principal matter, though not necessary to it, as the piano accompaniment to a song. A concomitant goes with a thing in natural connection, but in a subordinate capacity, or perhaps in contrast, as cheerfulness is a concomitant of virtue. A circumstance is not strictly nor usually an occasion, condition, effect, or result. See these words under cause. Nor is the circumstance properly an incident. See under accident. We say, my decision will depend upon circumstances, not upon incidents. That a man wore a blue necktie will not probably be the cause, occasion, condition, or concomitant of his committing murder, but it may be a very important circumstance to identifying him as the murderer. All the circumstances make up this situation. A certain disease is the cause of a man's death. His suffering is an incident. That he is his own home, that he has good medical attendance, careful nursing, etc., are consolatory circumstances. With the same idea of subordination, we often say, this is not a circumstance to that. So a person is said to be in easy circumstances. Compare event. Prepositions. Mere situation is expressed by in the circumstances. Action affected is performed under the circumstances. Class. Synonyms: association, caste, circle, clan, clique, club, company, coterie, grade, order, rank, set. A class is a number or body of persons or objects having common pursuits, purposes, attributes, or characteristics. A caste is hereditary. A class may be independent of lineage or descent. Membership in a caste is supposed to be for life. Membership in a class may be very transient. A religious and ceremonial sacredness attaches to the caste, as not to the class. The rich and the poor